can stop thinking that life fitting to be easy, because I got news for you, it ain't.
It is so important that you encourage yourself, because in this day and time, in this day of social media, in this day where you are bombarded with negativity constantly, every minute, every second, you don't even have to look for it, it is find you. And you carry it on your person. Sometimes it's in a pocket close to your heart.
Life is hard. See, for every time you have a plan, a dream, an aspiration, or a goal, do you know what happens every time you have one of those? This thing comes along called life. It happens to everybody. Life has disappointments, it's got peaks and valleys. You're gonna lose somebody you care about one day. Somebody gonna close the plant you thought was gonna stay open so you could retire. That's a valley. Somebody gonna fire you for an unjust cause. That's a valley. The people that got your credit card gonna sell their company, gonna sell their business to another credit card company. Your 18% go up to 26%. You don't even know why now. Your minimum didn't change because it's life.
Here's what I know for sure. The Bible says you get a few days on this earth, and some of those days are full of trouble. Is that right? If you don't teach your child how to deal with trouble, they will turn to something. We've got an opioid crisis. We've got drugs, major drug issues. So if you're not going to give them God and faith and Christ and teaching them about the Bible.
I was miserable in my life. I didn't like waking up. I ain't have no purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I walked in a comedy club for the first time. Signed up for the following week. A girl took me down there. She said, "You got to go to comedy club. You're the funniest person I've ever met." I never even heard of comedy clubs. I'm 27. I walked in the comedy club. I signed up for the following week. I'm gonna sit here and learn. I knew I was funny. I just didn't know what to do with it.
You know, as I started thinking about Points of Light and what this event represents, I started thinking about all of the people in my life who were just that. People who let their light so shine before me some of my darkest times. I grew up in New Orleans. My mother worked as a daycare assistant at the Jewish Community Center. The man that I was told was my father was a carpenter and a functional alcoholic. He was abusive to my mother and I, so needless to say, for most of my younger years, I was angry. And by the time I entered into adolescence, I was furious. God knew I needed Points of Light.
I became very aware of what it's like not to have a home. You know, a home, man, is important. No matter how small it is, no matter how bare or meager, at the end of the day, you have the right to be able to say, "I'm going home." And I don't care how funky of a day you had, man, if I could just get to my house, I don't care what it looked like. I don't care what the furniture looked like in there. But man, if I could just turn the key and shut the door and be in my house, that's just a moment of relief. I didn't have that. I wouldn't gotten your car's not a home. There ain't no moving around. Once you get in the front seat, you pretty much there. It was very, very difficult, man, but it put a determination in me too, because I was determined.
Hear me clearly when I say this. There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude.
I had nothing. I just never gave up. That decision cost me everything I had. I lost everything. I lost my family. I lost friends. I lost everything. I became homeless. I lived in a car for 3 years. I saw this vision. I just pursued it. I said, wow, that's it. You have to take chances in life. Life is about risk. If you play it safe in life, you ain't gonna have much of a life. I was determined to be something. And my dreams of being a TV personality was bigger than, I was homeless, man. I mean, you know, you're in a position where you're going, I got nowhere to go except up. I just wasn't making nothing. All the money I was making, I was sending back home to my wife and kids. That didn't last long. She got tired of that real. But I couldn't go back to Cleveland because I wouldn't have enough money to drive back down south to perform.
It feels great to be able to lift people on this level, but you also have the power to lift people even if you don't have this platform. As I look back over my life, there were many people that had a hand in shining light into my darkness when I was growing up. Like Mr. Johnson, who lived next door to me. He told me that I was special. He bought me my first pair of nice dress shoes. They were wing-tipped leather, hand-stitched, and I hated those jokers.
I gotta tell you something, that boy wasn't never lying. But I'll tell you the truth right now. The problems I got right now, I take them. Because the problems I had when I was homeless, I don't want it. See, money gonna change your life a little bit. folk. All of you gonna get more, but you gotta ask for it. I said, you have not because you ask.